Here we are back with Mr. Orth's Flipped Classroom for Grammar, looking today at a more complicated subject, compound sentence parts. Our learning targets today, and you can just see how many things we're going over by what's in bold. I can define coordinating conjunction, compound subject, compound verb, and compound predicate, and I can identify each of those in sentences. First definition, coordinating conjunction, it's a simple joining word. Examples include fanboys, like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Acronym fanboys is one way to remember it, and yet, it's important to remember these are called coordinating conjunctions. Conjunctions, by definition, are words that join, and coordinating means things are at the same level. When you have an and, what's before and after the and joined together should be the same level of importance. Compound subject is two or more simple or complete subjects joined by a coordinating conjunction. Compound verb, two or more verbs joined by a coordinating conjunction. Compound predicate, two or more predicates. By this we mean a verb plus its explaining words joined by a coordinating conjunction. You can see whenever you use the word compound as part of another term, typically it means there's a coordinating conjunction joining them and they serve the purpose. A compound subject is two subjects doing the job of a subject, but they're just simply joined by fanboys. How do we find these? And more important than ever, to make sure we slow down and do our steps. First, you always find the verb. All parts of it, because you find one doesn't mean you're done. Especially, you might find in this case, you've got verbs, multiple verbs in the same sentence, and yet they're disparate. They're separate from each other. Keep looking until you find them all. Find all the simple subjects. Again, for each verb, find a simple subject. Remember, if you have a verb phrase, well, if you have one verb phrase, then it's considered one verb. It should have one or possibly more than one simple subject. Again, look for more than one. For simple subjects here, same thing applies. Find your verb, who or what, followed by the verb. It's possible there's more than one joined by an or, nor, and. Keep looking. Remember to underline and label your simple subjects too. Teacher may have a different opinion on this, but I recommend labeling things in the simple way possible. So for identifying coordinating conjunctions, we take the most common one of those, and. Back in elementary school, you were taught different ways to understand certain mathematical symbols. Many people use the word and in place of the word plus sign or in addition to. So let's use that. For any coordinating conjunctions, let's use the plus sign to indicate those are fanboys. Remember, determine whether conjunctions join subjects, verbs, or predicates. So if that conjunction at fanboys is between two subjects, done, compound subject. Between two verbs with not much else in between, compound verb. If you've got verb predicate, then coordinating conjunction, verb predicate, that's a compound predicate instead. Better see some examples. First one, D'Artagnan and Aramis chased the Countess de Winter. In case you're wondering, the names are from the Three Musketeers. So we look at the sentence first and say, what's the verb? Well, we have chased as the verb, no other verbs. Okay? So, who or what chased? D'Artagnan, Aramis. Those are the two simple subjects. D'Artagnan chased, Aramis chased. You see the word and joins those two subjects, so we have a compound subject. Sophia and Selena walked and talked down to lunch. Find our verbs. Walked, talked. Okay. Are there any other verbs in the sentence? Nope. Okay. So we also need to figure out the simple subjects. Who walked? Sophia and Selena. Who talked? Sophia and Selena. So those are our two simple subjects joined by and. So the compound subject. We also have two verbs, walked and talked, also joined by and. That's a compound predicate. Compound verb, excuse me. So we have a compound verb and a compound subject in the same sentence. Another example. I wanted to stay at school but had to leave for the summer. Hard to believe someone actually would feel that way. So what are our verbs? Well, we can see stay, maybe, leave, wanted, had. Let's work with that. For our purposes now, let's look at wanted to stay as a verb phrase. To stay is actually something different. For right now, let's just leave it as kind of the verb phrase. Wanted to stay. Who wanted to stay? I did. I, simple subject, wanted to stay. Verb phrase. Had to leave. Who had to leave? School didn't have to leave. I had to leave. So we've got that again. So we've got verb phrase, verb phrase. Do you see any fanboys in the sentence? For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. I see the word but, and I see the word for. The question is, which one is joining? We have subject, verb, and more with it. Wanted to stay at school, so that becomes a predicate. And we have verb and more information. Had to leave for the summer. So that's another predicate. For in this sentence actually is doing the job of a preposition. For what? For the summer. So it finishes the thought of the word for. So we're going to go with but as the coordinating conjunction. We have one subject, only one subject. So we have predicate, fanboys, predicate. That's a compound predicate. One other note, remember that no comma is placed before the conjunction but in this sentence because there's only one subject. If there was a subject for each verb phrase, then we'd actually put a comma there. Don't worry, we'll cover that later when we deal with compound phrases of different types and compound sentences. Confusing one. Absolutely positively want to make sure you take time to work on this in class. If you only get compound verbs by themselves, great. If you only understand subjects, fine. If all you feel like you can do is circle the verbs and underline and label simple subjects, but you're not sure at all about fanboys or coordinating or compounds, fine. Do what you can when you are in class and ask for help or clarification, maybe even more examples to do as a whole class together. Good hunting.